Welcome to Warblog. Done a few scenarios so today. I think I finished this one off. So there's the Hanks people in Russia coming up from here, and the Russians coming from here, and this is a big one that took a long time. These are two smaller ones. The advance on Chani, which isn't really even, it's not even in Twitter or anything like that, but it's this is wherever it is, near Kherson. Kherson's sort of just down here, and they're just going sort of northeast along this sort of very wide sort of rivery thing. I can't remember what it is. It begins with D, I think. The River Donay or something. But they sort of come up here, and it's quite interesting. But I think I'm going to do a few more scenarios because it's quite quick to sort of knock out. But I'll do this one, not for any particular reason, but they basically sort of, in theory, they take this, and this, so you can, in theory, assume that the driving force is coming from here. Eventually, they destroy the bridge between here and here, but it makes you wonder why, because it's only a stream, or at least I've classified it as a stream, so you can just cross anywhere, plus they've got engineers, plus on this side, they're already on the other side, so they can just travel up this way, but presumably it's just for convenience. And also, the front line is sort of down here, sort of like, it's not particularly strange. So you might think, well, hang on, why did they actually go this way? Maybe they went up, 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 up. We don't know, but because of that, we can maybe assume that they're following this road along. But you also get some reinforcements later on here, which sort of throws into sort of disarray any sort of consideration of that kind of defense. So I'm going to give it a quick play. Hopefully, I'll be quite quick. Okay, so the Russians are going first. So obviously there's some. I just created some irregular units. I wasn't using irregulars for the Ukrainians to start off with, just because I sort of had no sense of balance for whether or not they would be using them, because the irregulars are really sort of more aligned to the way that the Middle Eastern sort of factions were fighting. But I think now it's maybe a little clear that they're probably operating along similar lines in certain areas, but not extensively. They're still fighting as armies in larger amounts. Plus, they get rubbish odds against big units, so they're not very good. Still got engineers, air defence. So anyway, in this first instant, we've got this sort of bunch of units, and we get some reinforcements on. I don't really know how to sort of start it, but obviously we've got ever increasing numbers to fight through. But it might be worth just pushing these guys out of the way. But there's some engineering units there. We've got anti-tank, infantry, and air defence in there, so it might be worth focusing our drones on this. Which I think will. Half strength. Okay. Aborted. Okay, so we got 2.4 against the infantry, 2.1 against the anti-tank, and nothing against the air defence. The air defence, when it's stuck with other things, doesn't get hit until last. Okay, so I think we should be able to knock these guys straight out of the way. No point following the squiggly line. Yeah. So then they're no match for tanks. What are they on there? 3. Blow them up again. 6. Don't know whether to sort of I think we might as well just really try and get the irregulars, because they can actually recover a little better than they used to and might get a elimination. So we've removed that unit, but our tanks are now up there at the front. I think we can try and push against this unit, but we're not going to get as good odds, maybe 5 to 1. So we push them back into there. We do have some rockets. Let's move them to there, where they're sort of defended, and fire them onto there. .4, 2.1, 2.9 on the air defence, 4.2 on the engineers, so they're sort of fairly beat. But I'll leave these with the rockets, and we'll move the air defence forward. And that's it for the first turn for the Russians. So the Ukrainians have three lots of drones, but we've got their air defence there. There's a lot of mechanized there. Might be better off trying to hit this weaker stack here. Okay, that was good on the rockets, 4.25, another photo opportunity. And those rockets are going to be pretty much dead. So definitely a photo opportunity. Entire company of rockets wiped out, and the motorized infantry probably lost 10 trucks on the side of the road, all smouldering. So that's how they get their photo opportunities, I think. They've got firepower and they've got to use it, but they're only sort of antagonizing or frustrating the Russian advance. I wouldn't say they're sort of winning the war, which is what the media tried to sort of represent, which is frustrating really, because they should really sort of be honest about what's happening one way or the other. So what else have we got? We've got rockets, so let's see what we can fire. We might be able to sort of actually really destroy that group. Although, to be quite honest, I think what might be better is to fire on this air defence units. 2.1, 1.2. And we've got some more rockets. Let's bring them closer and fire. Okay. Maybe we should have gone for those rockets, because they can still fire at this moment, at this stage. Don't appear to have any anti-tank. I'm sure I put it in. Maybe I just forgot. No, it's there. I just didn't duplicate it in any way. Usually I'll duplicate it. Right. I want to leave these rockets here, I think. Got air defence, air defence. Do we want to do anything with the engineers? Well, I can't remember how the engineers. I don't think they're available. That's why they're not working. Okay, I'll leave that at that. Now the Russians. Yeah, they're now available. I should have flag them up as available. Okay, so they've got their drones. I think we're going to try and take out these rockets. It's either that or a ground assault on this area here. I think we'll use our drones. Two on her. We could do some, try and take out these rockets. Oh, we lost a drone. Okay. Maybe we're too close to all the air defense, so let's focus on here. We had 4 air defense before, now we've only got 1, so this is a much better target. We don't want to lose drones. We've got rockets, but I don't think they're going to do anything. Let's see what they do when they're sort of completely knackered. Still quite a lot. That's one of the things I'll have to figure out. I'm really just guessing here, but it should be okay. 4-1. Okay, DR and a route. And they're now on the other side of the river. Let's stick our air defense in with that lot. Right, so the drones are now equal. I think we're going to fire all our drones on this stack here. It's going to be dangerous. We've got the rockets. And we've really damaged those air defense units. Oh, it was aborted, but they had to do a morale check because they were attacked and they failed the morale check. So that is the Russian advance quite sort of hammered, really. I mean, they've lost quite a few units on that. They've even got rockets that they can fire, and I think we should maybe try and finish this unit off if possible. Got 2 lots of rockets. Maybe only 1 will be enough. Yep, got it. And finish up on this lot, I think. Okay, and should be able to put in some. I wanted to put in some mines. Oh, there's the mines over there. Add some mines in there. So we've now got mines in that hex. Let's move these to here. Let's try and move these as far away as possible. They'll recover. We've got some irregulars, but these units are still not beaten enough to really do much. But there's 3 in there, so if we move these irregulars, we want to sort of protect the rockets though. Should have moved those engineers into there. Okay, leave that at that, and go to the Russian turn. Oh, look, more reinforcements. Engineers. Okay, well, we'll probably want to do. I haven't done much against that. What do we want to do next? Might do well to load these people up. It's air defense and infantry, but that's what the game's all about. So let's try and get rid of that air defense. Okay, so plenty of photo opportunities for the Ukrainian defense there. I did see a map for Ukrainian alleged counter-offences or counter-attacks, and but I don't know where it is. But I might look for it again. It was just one of those Twitter things, you find sort of generally when looking at Twitter, but it might be interesting to look at that as well. But, what else have we got here? Which side are we playing? Russian. Okay. Might be able to attack these rockets over the river. DE, so let's push them back into there. Okay. Right. So it's now Ukrainian turn. Well, maybe I shouldn't have moved these out on their own. But we've got rockets there, look. Let's try and take out these air defense units. I shouldn't have moved them. Okay, so they're at 3.8. Another photo opportunity, and we'll now, because the Russians have got no air defense, so we've got air superiority with our 3 drones at this moment. 5 damage. Right. Well, we'll stay with what we've got there. I'm going to mine this road. Okay, they don't have much else that they can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Russian turn. Oh, look. Some motorized units. I put those in there to sort of as a spanner in the works, really, because there's no reason why they couldn't come up this way. They're 50%. They're a bit strong in there. Let's see what we can do with the rockets. Okay, and let's try our drones on here. One 1.3, 5.1, 1.7. Okay, that might be enough. Let's see if we can attack. Four to 1. Okay, so we move into another town there. And here, I don't think we can attack there. But they certainly can't attack us, so I mean, it might be a 1 to 1 or a 2 to 1. Which makes it interesting, really, because it's not quite the sort of overriding threat that it might have been, or it might have appeared to be. Okay, so the Ukrainians really want to sort of make the most of their drones. I think if we could try and take this stack out, they're stacked up, but if we can take both of those out, I mean, let's see why we would. It might be possible. Let's see. Rolls like that is going to be good. Yes, and then the air defense unit 2. So the air defense unit's now at depression 2. Well, we've got rid of the rockets and .7, 0.9, so he's at 5.6. He's available, so we'll mine that road. He's still waiting to recover. Still waiting to recover. So we've got a problem down here with that. Might be able to hit it. No. If we move, okay, that's that. Oh look, another group. Well, it might be worth just launching an attack on that stack. I mean, what have they actually got? Fresh, 3.7, fresh, 3, 7.1. Because we could use our drones on this stack here, maybe. See, we lost so much rockets, so much rocket power. See, these are interesting questions, really, because you've sort of got to think, well, what is the effect of all the attrition on the Russian rocket capability in the light of what we're seeing, in things like Twitter and things like that? Because in this instance, they've lost a lot of rockets and air defense, which is hampering their sort of ability to do other things. I mean, we've got some drones, but do we attack this or this? So their offensive capabilities are being compromised in that regard, according to this sort of simulation, so to speak, which is slowing things down. Because we'd like to maybe make some ground here and here, but we can't really do both. And I'm not sure this is going to be a sort of an easy military victory. I just can't get my head around the odds. I think I'm going to put the drones over here just as an see what happens. Because if we can make a breakthrough there, so it's 1 against that. I'm going to try and attack. I think it's going to be really maybe just a 1-to-1, 2-to-1 exchange. Okay. Well, it's better because it's knocking his depressions up because it will recover 1. The next time we might have a bit more luck. Right, so we've got some air defense coming in here. Right. We'll stack that up there. We'll try to protect these rockets by putting something on them. Okay, well, we should be able to develop a bit more of a flank here. We've got rockets first. Okay, that was pretty effective. Let's see what we can do. Yep. Okay. So I was right to use my drones over here because we had enough capability down here. We're really pushing them back now. Okay. So it looks as though it's getting more grimmer for the Russians. So there is a little bridge. Oh, it's there. It's on the other side. These irregular units are fairly knackered as well. So we've got some rockets we can fire down here. They're split up now, 1.3, 1.4. We could also fire them in this direction. They're fresh. There's armored, 2 armored units in there. I think we'll fire them on this unit. Soft skin, see what happens there. 1.8. I've got some drones as well. Might be worth attacking this stack. Might at least get these rockets. Wow, that was quick. So we've got the rockets. I'm aware of the time, but it just seems so interesting. I want to sort of continue really. So the Russians now. Only one drone down, but still sort of continuing. Heavy losses on all of their important things. I think we can assume that these ground units are going to do okay. It's just nice to maybe sort of break through there, but these rockets actually could do with being taken out because they're a pain. So let's do that. No effect. Oh, look at that. They're still there, but heavily attrition now. Okay, so this going to slow us down that because that road's now mined. That's going to be mined, but we can come around, I think. Yeah, they're not going to be a threat. I think we can take those. Yep. And even launch an attack on these engineers. So let's try and finish those rockets off. Yep. Let's push into these irregulars. So everything else is really just following on now. So some engineers, so they can come along and they'll be able to won't be able to do it now because they've moved. Yeah, they've moved. So can't do that. But next turn they'll be able to clear that road. Let's push these units on this way. Let's try and take these objectives. We push them out. Okay, so their defences are beginning to crumble. Okay. What do they want to do with their drones? I mean, this is a formidable stack here, really. We've got no air defense. 2 lots of armor. The thing is, our drones. I think the drones are actually okay against armor. Let's see if we can destroy this armor. This armored column. No, not really. We should have gone for the air defense units, which are sort of over here. Got no rockets anymore. No real way to attack these units. Oh, look, another stack. Did we lose a drone? Must have lost a drone. We've only got 2 drones now. I think we're going to take this out conventionally. So we use the drones, what we've got here. So we lost that one. We've only got 1 drone now. That's a big unit. Let's put the rockets in now. We can't. Let's stack everything up with those rockets. Try and protect them. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we can hit them with the rockets. No. Three to 1 DR. Fire everything into here. So push them away and everything else against this air defense unit. And now we should be able to use our rockets on him. Should be able to remove that minefield. Yeah, I'm always amazed that the minefield thing actually works. It's one of those things you always imagine probably won't work. This air defense, rogue air defense unit is sort of still quite ominous. Okay, we destroyed him. I don't think we want to attack that. So now the Ukrainians now have 3 to 1 air superiority in the drone sector. But that's quite a big stack. So let's just focus on that. Not huge numbers, but could have got a morale check on that top unit. Okay, let's blow this bridge up. Destroy this bridge. Well, the bridge is gone, but the track hasn't. But the Ukrainians can't do anything else really, apart from run away. I suppose we could do an attack against these, but it would be very desperate. 3, 4. No. So the Russians have got one drone. Let's use it here. I think I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to spend too much time. I think the Russians are going to take their last objective there. And I think they get some more reinforcements next turn. But what happened there? We did so much damage against their air defense and their rockets. They've only got one rocket unit on the table. The Ukrainians have lost all their rockets, but their air defense is still good, and they've still got 3 drones. But the drones aren't that amazingly effective. These units are going to have to sort of basically regroup and come piling into here, but they're all in good order. He's at 1, 1.1, he's at 0.5, 1. That unit might rout next turn. These units are sort of pretty much in good order. To think that we might be able to sort of defend by destroying, just those 2 units when they've got so many good units on the way, including rockets, so they get some more reinforcements, some more armor. There's just not enough of it. But the thing is, it was a close call, but it's not really designed to be a close call in the sense that you're just modelling what happened. And I think to some extent, it's probably quite a good, simulation of that thing, albeit that they might not have been, there might not have been that many units or that much combat, or might not have been that as intense. It could be that all those towns and villages were pretty much undefended and unoccupied, and the Russians just walked straight through it. There was just token resistance, but maybe again with the token resistance, there wasn't as much Russian force coming along those roads. Maybe just 1 or 2 companies, as opposed to sort of 10 or 15. So given the fact we really don't know what's going on, and the fact that it was an interesting battle and game, and the fact that it gives you sort of quite a lot of insight into the considerations for sort of looking at the significance of losing certain units, losing their drones, losing their rockets, losing their air defense, and also considering that I forgot to put in I forgot to multiply the anti-tank units, which I will do now. If the Ukrainians get their anti-tank units, this could be a very sort of different game, quite sort of a well-balanced sort of traditional game, in the sense that maybe you can stop the Russian advance. So it's sort of on the side of sort of game balance. I think it's quite balanced really from that point of view. It's one of those games where you would expect the the Russians to win, and the sense of victory for the Ukrainians will be sort of, how much they can slow them down, which to some extent is sort of what might be looking at now anyway. Might think, well, the Russians are going to win, but it's really how much damage the Ukrainians can inflict with regards to sort of, bringing about a certain moral victory. Also, the use of the engineers, I don't think they were particularly powerful, but we could have blown this bridge up maybe. Didn't really think of that. And maybe this one, but they can just come across the river. It just slows it down a turn or two. But even so, we've got the engineers and, putting these mines in the road. It stopped them coming along this way, but they just went around. But, maybe if we thought about that in advance, we could have mined this road and put up some mine or some defensive features along here, forcing them all the way around here. I think this was an interesting situation because it did show that, this is quite a viable route for them to have come along. But even so, there was only 2 motorized units, and they were facing 1 mechanized unit, and it was a bit of a standoff. But with the drone support, I think they managed it, but it was touch and go because the Ukrainians were sort of using some of their rocket power against those motorized units, which could have been quite threatening if they'd had better rolls. They could have routed them both, but they pushed them out after a 2-to-1 battle, which could have gone the other way. And again, it sort of gives you the sort of a sense of, the decision-making process between sort of allocating resources in one area or the other. Do we attack the air defense units? Do we attack the rockets with our rockets? What do you do? And these are things that I think the media are completely missing out on. It's just so pathetically biased that it's quite depressing, really, because they're not sort of thinking, well, what are the resources available and what's being done with them, or sort of, particular sort of questions like that. So, for example, in this instance, we could have maybe focused quite heavily on destroying that unit. Other things we might have been able to do is bring a lot of these units further forward earlier on. But again, I don't think, I'm not sure. I think that's just another sort of option. I don't think we sort of lost any sort of opportunities there by keeping them in reserve. We actually, we're still holding a defensive line here. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. I'm maybe going to put up a few more scenarios because I feel in the mood, and I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.